this one.
Yeah, okay. And can we just leave it open for them?
Participate. Admit all.
Yes, I'm sorry.
So whenever they,
I will see popping it up in there. Okay.
If you want to, I mean, it depends which type of.
Just leave it open there, I guess.
Like this, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And just like anyone comes, you need to admit. So,
okay,
like for
inshallah.
example,
Yes.
my account I made in a way that I don't have to. Admit,
Yeah, I do too, but I just, because I use your computer, I have mine, but my Mac didn't have the cable. I'm like, my brain is, I'm adjusting, but inshallah I'll get it. I haven't used a desktop in a long time. I've been using this for like 10 years now, so my brain is, so I apologize, brothers and sisters from online, not admitting them on time. So, okay, so we'll move on then to, how do you move to the next slide here? Sorry, I'm so new at this. There you go. So what is then, yes, brother? It is emotional intelligence. It's the road to a happier you. How to be happy with you and others.
Wonderful, thank you.
Inshallah. So there you go. What is it then? So in a short definition, it's basically the ability to a person to be able to recognize your own emotions and what is going inside of you. That's the question. That answers the question of what is going inside of me. Recognizing our emotions is understanding, or at least acknowledging that there is something different at that time. And then you ask yourself, what is going on? From what I know about emotions, you know, some people don't recognize them because they don't know how many types of emotions they exist. So they don't have the words to describe or to recognize what they're feeling. And so it isn't because they don't have them, they just don't know how to acknowledge them, right? And so first is recognizing what is going on inside of me. The second action is to manage those emotions, make a connection with that emotion, meaning you, once you acknowledge it immediately, then you connect with it and accept it and say, okay, yes, I am feeling nervous, or I am feeling angry, or I am feeling, afraid, or I am feeling happy, or I'm feeling sad. So you recognize it. So you make that connection to, I know I'm feeling this. And then you decide how to manage it right there. If it is a situation in which you are alone, or you just decide to manage it if you are in the presence of others, or if it is a situation that arises with other people around you. The next thing you do is empathize with other people emotions, those who are around you. And somebody might have done something that triggered that emotion for you. And so you need to also understand what might be going inside them. Like, why is this person acting this way? You know, and so before you make any judgments. See if there's anyone new. It's there you go. Okay. There you go. And so why do we need emotional intelligence then? Well, we needed to have successful relationships with ourselves, with other people, people that we live with, people that we interact on a daily basis, people that we meet. It's just to get along with people, basically. It also protects us from not get things personal. It protects us from having a lot of judgment against people or assumptions, thinking wrong about people, suspicions, all those kind of feelings. It protects us from that. It motivates ourselves and it helps us motivate others. It means that when we have that emotional intelligence, we understand that we don't always need someone to push us, but we find that motivation within ourselves. It's very intrinsic, meaning we do things because we like it. It makes us feel good. It makes us please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we do things with the right intention. So it comes from within. You know, many times we have heard that happiness is within you. It comes from inside. Yes, it does. But it's not just happiness that is there. It's something we produce by our actions, by our thinking, by being aware of ourselves. I read recently in a book that is called With the Heart in Mind, a nice phrase that was that said, knowing yourself is knowing your Lord. And it's very Islamic. It's an Islamic book from Sheikh, I think Khalil Rashid, something like that. I'm probably mistaken, but he basically talks about how we need to understand ourselves, because when you understand your place, then you understand the place of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like the more you get to know yourself, the more you get to know Allah, because you understand how different we are. And it's almost like you identify how little you are to understand how great he is, like how much you need in order to understand how much he is independent, and we are so dependent. So it's really beautiful. So it's kind of like that emotional. It helps us to overcome difficulties and continue life being happy. A lot of times people keep things inside, and that eats you up, and they're not really happy people, but they just put a face, or they have things that have not let go. And so having this emotional intelligence and recognize it helps us to become to become happy and to let go of things that are not good for us, or feelings that are not good for us, thoughts that are not good for us, not necessarily things. So a believer's attitude, meaning Muslims' attitude towards things and expectations, is to focus on the positive of situations and people. This is an attitude, and it is an expectation from Allah for us. Allah expects us to be happy. Allah expects us to be positive in life, because we know that everything he gives us is good. So we should not be sad or griping about it, or saying bad things, or lamenting about something Allah gives us, because what he gives us is good, and we need to understand that as well. So the attitude of a believer should always be positive, and it is expectation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we are positive in what he gives us in life, in any situation. So it is also an expectation for a Muslim to avoid negative thoughts about ourselves and about others. So we shouldn't be thinking negative things about ourselves, whether it's our body, whether it's our thoughts, our appearance, or the way we think. We should not be thinking wrong about us. We shouldn't call ourselves names, for example, like I'm dumb, or I'm too this, I'm too that, because this is how Allah made us, and we need to be pleased with that. So it's not allowed to have those thoughts, and definitely not about others, talk about others and describe them or think wrong about them. We should also make things easy for ourselves and for others. Last time, I think I mentioned that we should be of those people that make things easy for others, as well as making things easier for us. Meaning, do not be inflexible, be a person that work things out, do things with your heart, put your intention in it, just make it easy. If it is within your control, and it is within your hands and your power, make it easy. Make it easy for others, because that will make it easy for yourself as well. So here I found this infographic that illustrates the low and high emotional intelligence descriptions a little bit. So on the high level, we have people that accept selves and others, meaning they're happy with themselves. They don't have negative image or thoughts. They're happy with how they are. That doesn't mean that they are arrogant, or they have affirmations that are unreal, like they just have exaggerated affirmations, such as I'm the best in the world, it's not referring to that. It's not the most beautiful or whatever. It's not like that. It's more of being real with yourself, being aware of that, and just accept as is. People that are in the low end are not very accepting of others or themselves. They have low self-esteem, and they criticize themselves, and obviously they will criticize others because they have not developed that for themselves. They don't know how to love themselves, therefore they will not know how to thank you. There you go. And so that would be one of the characteristics. People that have a high emotional intelligence then are people that can communicate assertively, means people that are firm, or are people that tell you exactly what they want. They can say no without being mean, right? They can say, no, I don't like this, instead of saying, don't do that. If you do that again, you'll see. They're not aggressive. So they have a balance. They have established very well what it's like to cross a line and not having a lot of people there. Oh, mashallah. Well, not a lot of people, but yeah. And yeah, definitely miss my computer. I know, it's like my brain is like trying to get used to it. Yeah, much, but jazakallah khair for telling me, because I'm missing it in here. And so basically these are people that tell you straightforward what they want, whether if it's a no or whether it's a yes. So they are assertive in what they want. They are sure of what they want, and they know how to say it without being aggressive, but rather being firm. Just being firm, but kind, polite, is all of those. Well, they're not their emotions, very composed, because they're acknowledging it's there, and they're acknowledging the effect of their attitude towards others and what emotions it may awaken the other person if they spoke to them the wrong way. So they avoid that. They think ahead of that. Those who are not, of course, are going to give you indirects. They will be using, this passive aggression communication that we all dislike. Or they send you an email, or, those kind of things. They don't do that. They're not straightforward. And of course, those who display empathy, those that think about other people's emotions and that are aware of how they might feel if you do something to them, or how they might be feeling when they are acting or doing something that bothers you or other people. And of course, those who lack empathy would be the ones on the low end. Those are usually people that don't care about what they say, how they are perceived. They will not have very good manners in a way. And this is something that I bring up. I was talking to my husband about that. When we think about the Prophet ﷺ, and we refer about him bringing good manners to us and showing us good manners, it is really beyond thank you, please. A lot of times we just limit to that, like, well, let's just be nice. Let me open the door for the sister. Let me tell her thank you, but it's really not that. It really goes beyond your manners, meaning how you conduct yourself, and what manners you have within yourself, for yourself too. Like when you look at the mirror, are you proud of yourself? Are you at peace with yourself? Are you content with how you conduct within yourself and with others, how other people think about you and of you? Like when they think about, I don't know, Miss Maria, what do they think? How can they describe her? Those are the manners that we need to display out there, that people feel safe, and that people feel, safe from our words, safe from our actions. And this is also an Islamic teaching, that people should feel safe around us, as brothers and sisters. And here I have some of highlights of positive and negative. Thank you. No, I think he went away. Yeah, I probably disconnect. And so we're going to touch a little bit on positive and negative attitudes of both groups of people. That I only put positive, that the people that are on the positive side focus on good in life, understanding that nothing is perfect. Just because they feel or they focus on what is positive doesn't mean that they disregard what is negative in life. They keep a balance. They understand that there is negative and there is positive, and that there is negative and positive within themselves as well. Have you ever seen people that you're talking to, and you have a conversation and something comes up and they kind of agree with you and they kind of go with the topic, and then at the end they're like, well, actually, can I be honest? And then you're like, yes. And they might have said something that was in agreement with what you were doing, whatever it was. And then they're like, well, you know what? They don't feel right about what it was going on, about what the conversation might have been about. And they start telling you, oh, can I be honest with you? Actually, I kind of feel bad that I said this just 2 minutes ago. I actually meant this. When you have people that kind of give themselves that feedback, that they acknowledge that, these are the people that have very good emotional intelligence, because they acknowledge that they can be positive, but at the same time they also have negative aspects, and they self-correct. So the minute they cut themselves saying something that they really didn't mean to, and because honesty is a quality of those people who are in the high end, they will be, what is it?
Mute all.
Mute all.
Like someone who's coughing and making it so everyone can hear it.
Okay, there you go. Okay, maybe I'll leave it over here. And so if you find anyone like that will be, again, talking to you about anything, and they tell you, oh, well, can I be honest with you? It means they are self-talking, it's good people to be around. And then we have the negative qualities of the people. This happens a lot, and I think we know a lot of people that act this way. When they encounter any problem, when you tell them any issue, anything, they usually magnify it. They make it bigger than it is. Like it's like, have you guys heard the hadith that says that when you encounter a small problem, you need to get rid of it right there. You should not let it get big towards it becomes like a monster. If it's a small problem, then you fix it and it's over. Right? But if it is a small problem and you don't have this emotional intelligence, then you'll keep on adding to it. until it becomes like a big snowball that eats you up, like a big monster, a mountain of problems. I guess, what does this mean? Okay, great. Yeah, there you go. So if we encounter people that magnify problems, meaning they make them bigger than it is, then they probably need to develop some emotional intelligence to have a little bit more control. They make mountains of problems and they vocalize it in a way that it scares people. Like those are the kind of people that will tell you, oh, well, you know, if you drive without insurance, you're going to get into an accident, you're going to kill somebody, and you're going to spend the rest of your life in jail. Your life is over in just 2 seconds. Like this is kind of people that will just, they think of the worst, and nothing has happened yet, or maybe, you know, something might, they already think about it. I'm not encouraging to driving without insurance, of course, but it was an example. And it could be for other things, you know, like if you don't do your homework, you know, you're going to fail this grade, you'll never graduate, you're a loser for life, you just might as well, you know, start working, whatever. So they vocalize it in a way that it scares you. It makes you think and see all these ugly things. And so they basically focus on what is worst of any situation, even if the situation is not bad enough, but they just make it worse. Like it's already bad, they make sure it's worse, like it's the worst that it could be. So it's scary. Don't hang out with those people. They focus and create obstacles. So if there is a little situation that's problematic, and you're trying to find solutions and trying to brainstorm, those are the people that will, anytime that you come with a little solution, they'll tell you no. Well, yeah, but no. But if you do this, maybe this. And they're already thinking about all the obstacles you're going to have. So it's like they don't let you go through. Like they don't contribute good, but they can't want to pull you back. And there's people like that. We all know someone. I know someone. And then no solution, again, is satisfactory or possible. Same thing. They're never happy with any solution you offer, especially if it has to be like a matter between two people. You're trying to compromise, you're trying to work it out. No matter what you say, it's not satisfactory. It's not, it doesn't meet their standards. Like this solution wasn't good for this reason. This solution, they don't even know any reasons. Some of them might tell you, no, because I say no, I don't like it. Or I say no, this doesn't work. So they don't even know whether it's themselves, you know? So I'm going to pause here since I have a few people here in online, inshallah. I am going to play a little game. I'm hoping that this connects me because I want it to be a little bit more interactive. So since we kind of recap what it was for the past 2 weeks, I'm going to see if this works. And if it does, we'll be connecting and playing a little quiz. And if it doesn't, then I guess we'll just wait for the end and see if that works. Let me see. Let's see if it works. If it doesn't take me in, I know. This is why I miss my computer. Oh, chicas is not letting me in. No, please. Let's see. It was fine in here, I think. Yeah, it's there. I'll try it out later, I guess. It's not working out here. I'll see if I can connect from my computer. The thing is that my computer has a double USB connection here. It does not have an HDMI. And so it cannot be connected to, because I don't know why Macs don't come with HDMI, I guess. So anyway, so we'll move on. And then I do have a few turn and talk activities. So inshallah, we'll go over these. So it is research shows, I guess, many scientists and psychologists nowadays don't seem to agree on exactly the number of emotions that the human being has. Some of them might say has 12, 18, 17, 24, whatever. But the most, I guess, the ones that stand out the most are 4 basic ones that no one can escape from. All of us have them. And one of them is anger. So I'll go by each one briefly. So anger is, I put this very small description in here and we can add to it, inshallah. So anger is basically a strong feeling of displeasure. What else would you add to it? What is anger in your words? What is anger besides a strong feeling of displeasure? like, yeah, dislike it totally, or what is it? What else? How would you describe it?
Action that you have to a certain situation, you know, to react to it. The feeling comes and
It is an emotion that arises in our body or in our brain, actually, when we are displeased with something. So it is a reaction, but it comes from our brain. So when something is very displeasing, it triggers that emotion, and then we feel it. And we can feel it in different ways. And then we turn it into feelings, and then we act upon it either wrong or appropriately. So I wanted to think about what makes you angry. And don't be too personal so we can disclose it in public. Just think about some of the things that make you angry. No one can say that they don't get angry or that nothing makes sense. There you go. But not all lies make you angry, right? Not all lies make you angry. Some lies don't make you angry. Some. So if someone lies to you, then that makes you angry. Depends on the lie too. Because if they tell you it's 4 o'clock and it's 6, you're not going to get mad at that, right? Or like this. When they try to play with your emotions, try manipulation on you with their lies or something, they know they use it against you. What else? What makes you angry, for example? Something that gets you.
I don't like being angry, so I keep trying to control it as much as I can, and by understanding what the other person is going through and what they're thinking. But I mean, what makes me angry?
There's so many things that can make us angry, things around the world. Sometimes it doesn't have to be personal.
Yeah,
Sometimes you get angry for others, you know, sometimes it's just, it's in us, you know. Social injustice, yeah, see, that's, you can't help it. And if you don't feel angry, then I don't know, something must be wrong with you. How can you not be displeased with that? You know, you gotta be displeased with that. So what do I do here? Just close it. Okay. So you have to be displeased with certain things in life. So how do you deal with your anger, for example?
Are we supposed to mute ourselves?
Yeah, I think.
Oh, so you're just talking to people in class and not online, right?
Well, I think it's being recorded, so I think it is. I don't know. I'm not sure how is this conducted.
Sorry about
Up
that.
to you. Oh, okay. So if it is like dual, yeah, I don't know. She just connected me.
Yeah, they can.
Okay. Oh, that would be great then, you know. Oh, I do have an activity for them online, actually. Yeah, why don't you like raise your hand or type something on the chat and I can express it here. Here it is.
You could say a question to us and then say.
Yeah, I would like that actually.
Say anything.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Block motives causes frustration in anger. Great. So some of the sisters said here that they, she doesn't get angry very often. She's very much aware of her emotions and understands others, so she doesn't let it get to her, basically. So I don't know how she deals with it. I guess that's the only way. You just kind of understand, take a deep breath and understand it's part of life, so doesn't let it get to you. How do you react, or how do you deal with it when you're angry? Like, what do you do? What are your first thoughts or actions or reactions? Do you? How do you control? Oh, by explaining.
Explain why not be
Honest.
like,
How do you
sometimes I leave it.
do? You cry sometimes? And she just says sometimes she just leaves it. What do you mean by you just leave it? Like
I leave it
what?
to cool down, so I
For
can
you to
talk.
cool down.
Yeah, for me
So
to
you-
cool down,
you-
so I don't wanna
So you take a little time out to cool down before you can like,
over it and talk.
before talk about it or address what made you angry. So, and why do you do that?
Because I don't want or I see something bad.
So you don't want to hurt people's feelings or say something inappropriate, something you may be regretting about, right? Something bad, and hopefully not cursing, you know.
Take back what you say when you're in.
Oh, that is great. Like,
So taking
yeah.
that time out she's talking about is
Mhm.
amazing. And then we also have to remember the hadith about
Mhm.
if you're
Have-
standing, sitting,
Yeah.
lay, And then
Yes.
the last one is
And-
make will do to put the fire out. you know,
And
but-
if you have nothing good to say, then just keep silence. That's also a hadith. So it takes a lot. It takes a lot of energy. It does take. It's like the phone battery that's in those 4 little bars and then goes down to like 1. So yeah, it takes a lot, but it's great. So alhamdulillah, it's great she's dealing with it like that. And tu, how do you deal with it?
Well, when it happens, first take a deep breath.
Take a deep breath.
Just kinda
Good
deep
tip.
breath, and then just kind of recognize that the next thing I said is going to either escalate or it's going to
I love that. Yeah.
minimize the situation. So at that point, depending on what it is, like
Yeah.
somebody lying to me, I'm not gonna at this point in my life anyway. Now that I'm older, I'm not going to be like, "Ha, you're lying to me."
Yeah.
I
It
mean,
also,
it's just more than anything explore. I try to understand, like, okay, why would it cause another grown person to lie? You know what I mean? At this point in our lives, I mean, kids are different. aren't they?
yeah. Okay, great. So I guess with age also comes this maturity. It's a different way of dealing with it than younger people, perhaps, And how do you deal with it? Like, what makes you like say social injustice? How do you deal with it? Like,
I just constantly turn to Allah for guidance, and I oftentimes find that the anger is very short-lived and it turns into some different emotions like the sadness,
Mm-mm.
frustration that, what can I do about these situations? So yeah, I don't think I feel the anger for a long time. For
okay.
me, it always turns into something else. Constantly talking to Allah to help me, guide me, deal with it the proper way. And alhamdulillah, I have my husband. He's a lot of the time he's my voice of reason.
Mashallah.
And I'll share like last week, I did get very angry about something that had to do with my daughter at school.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, we're going up there right now. I was ready. I was like, we're going up there right now. I'm going in that classroom, blah, blah, blah. And my husband was like, why don't we sit down? Let's have dinner. Calm yourself a
Just
little
think
bit.
about it.
And if you write an email, let me read it first.
That's great. See, you have that support, someone that in a way reminded you. So yes, turning to Allah, of course, should be the first step. And then following the advices that we have been given, wash your face, sit down, lay down, keep silent, remember Allah. All of those things should be a first step. But we are human beings and we do need some support. Like she said, it's great to have someone that also knows us and that can tell us, hey, calm down. I know this is not what you mean. I know how you really are. Just you're going to regret this. I know that if you were in your 5 senses right now, you wouldn't do that. So I know it's not you, you're being possessed right now, something like that. But yeah, so it's great to have that. So the next feeling that we have, I think I skipped one. That's supposed to be, well, I guess I didn't count my numbers. This is number 3, 2 is probably down. So sadness is the next feeling. Now, we have to understand that emotions and feelings are actually 2 different things. Emotions are they're immediate. They are triggered by some stimulus outside, some outside stimulus that like triggers that emotion and we feel like that immediately and then we act upon it. Now what is left of it, what develops from that is what we feel, and the feelings last for a long time. But emotions is something immediate and then you react to it, but then feelings can stay there with you for a long time. So we have to differentiate those. I just don't think they have many words to like identify both, but emotions are definitely feelings, but they are like a little difference and they're lesser feelings. From those emotions develop different feelings. So sadness in short will be feelings of disappointment or grief when you lose something or someone. And so this would be this will be the definition that I found. What else is sadness for you? For people online, what else is sadness from you? You can write it in the chat or you can just talk, open up your microphone and we'd love to hear you. What is, besides feelings of disappointment, grief, and grief of loss, what other words do you find to describe sadness? I know it takes time. Take your time to think because it's just, we don't think about these things often,
Being empty.
Emptiness, feeling empty. Okay. What else?
Walaikum.
Walaikum assalam, sister.
Am I allowed to speak or? is
Yes,
it
of
just for the
course.
class?
Please do.
Okay. I was kind of confused whether it was just for the class or for supposed to
Me
speak.
too. So I apologize. This is new
Okay,
to me.
fine.
So inshallah, we'll be more mindful. Jazakallah khair.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
please share with us what else is
I
sadness
was
in your
gonna say,
words.
like, sometimes when we feel like we're not able to help somebody else, like we see them going through struggles, we're not able to help them, you know, like a family member or something, you know, like we're not able to help them the way we want to, you know, or we see our friends or family going through some hardship and we
Mm.
don't know how to help them. And we know we can pray for them, but
Yeah.
besides that, you know, we want to do something else to help them, you know.
Right. We have this, as human beings, when we care for one another, we have this, I guess, urge of wanting to solve people's life, you know, especially of those that we care about, because we don't want to see them in pain. And so it could be really frustrating. Besides, now sadness has developed now a little branch of frustration, because frustration is that feeling of wanting to do something that is totally out of your control. And if it's totally out of your control, then you're going to be frustrated because there's really nothing you can do about it. And so it creates this frustration. You do what is within your reach or your control, which is, like she said, praying. Sometimes it's the least thing we can do, or the most thing we can do. You know, sometimes you can't really help them, but just be there for them, in that sense. And then I feel very sad when my kids don't want to learn about Islam to be able to practice. Yes, that could make us sad, of course, because we want what is best for them. And what is, you know, we want them to go to heaven. We want them to be good practicing Muslim. We want them to be independent Muslims, you know, to do their prayers on their own, to have the love for Islam. But we also have to understand that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one that gives the guidance, and he gives it in, you know, in a measure. And he is going to be merciful to all of us. And I think of that myself as a convert, because I was once a non-Muslim, like you guys. All of us were once non-Muslims. We didn't have this guidance, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had mercy on us and guided us, and we are here. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to have mercy for our children and to guide them, you know, and to keep them in the deen, even if they're not practicing now, but inshallah, keep them there and never give up, you know, just keep on praying. And of course, with example in us, not giving up on them. I think that that's the part that we can play. Do not give up on them. Even if they stop for a while, they're going to grow out of it. They're not, you know, at some point they will need a lot in their life. I think that one of the things that happens with the youth a lot of times is that everything has been given to them, you know, so they really haven't had any great need to ask Allah for anything. We grown-ups, once we have children, for example, your child gets sick, then you start asking, right? You don't have enough to pay your rent, then you start asking. You still have any difficulties, and you start asking Allah. We get closer to Allah because we have greater needs. But when they're little and they have everything given to them, they have really nothing to worry about. So they don't have this connection of, I need to ask Allah to help me pass my grade. They're not interested in that yet, but for real needs, because even if they don't pass that grade, what could possibly happen to them? We're not going to put them in jail or kick them out of the house. You see, they're not going to suffer greater consequences. They're not even aware of those things yet. And so because I feel in my theory is that some of them may not have this great need yet of asking Allah for big things that they really need. So they're not making that connection yet. So we should not give up and just, you know, pray for them. Yes, you know, drag them to our lectures, going here and there. You know, when I was little and I used to go to Catholic church, my mom used to take me and I'll just sit there for like 2-3 hours, take a nap, wake up and take a nap and wake up, because the sermon was so long, you know, the mass is like 2.5 hours. And then she pulled like these little tails and my hair was like, you know, already like pulsating because she tied them so much. It was terrible. And I just stay there you couldn't even move, because she'll be like, you know, she like pinch me and wake up and I'm like, okay, yes, you know, I'm in or whatever. And it's just like, okay, sister, go ahead and give us yeah, we have someone that has yeah, we went through that. So assalamu alaikum, I have a question. What's the question?
Hello, my question is in relation to empathy that was talked about earlier. How can we, like Muslims or of any other religion, have empathy towards those of other religions?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, first of all, because it is a command in the Quran, right? There is no compulsion in religion. So we cannot impose our beliefs on anyone, just like no one should be imposing their beliefs on us. What we don't want for you, you don't want it for others. right? So there's no compulsion in religion, number one. And that should be sufficient. It's a command from Allah. It's telling you, do not impose that on you. Now, if we are talking about being empathetic, it's more like putting ourselves in, not just in their shoes, but kind of being them, and like human being level, like feeling beyond, I guess, sorry of what they believe. I don't think empathetic is the right answer, but we should be definitely respectful. We should be respectful, and we should be tolerant, right? They have a right to choose and believe whatever they want. And that's also the will of Allah, because Allah is the only one that guides, even us. We should pray that we live and die as Muslims, because it's not a guarantee. So we need to be very aware of that at all times, and never feel any arrogance or feel that we have a sure ticket to heaven, because we don't know. Only Allah knows, and that depends on Him. And so we should not feel even sorry for other people in that sense, because feeling sorry for others may be a sign of your own arrogance, thinking that you're in a better place, but you don't know what Allah has for you, and we don't know what Allah has for them. So the best reaction for that is, we're always told to make dua for brothers and sisters, so to make dua for the people. Allah guide them. Why? Because when you make dua for them, the angel will make dua for you. So say, oh, Allah, please guide my sister, guide my brother, guide my co-worker, guide my children. The angels will be giving us that protection as well. That dua as a protection for ourselves if we failed for that. So at least we can do that for them and respect them. So that's one way of being respectful to them. We, as converts, I think most of us, do have people who are not Muslims. So that's what we should do. Be respectful. We have to respect their dignity. They have a right in, respect their human being, respect their thoughts, and respect their faith, because this is what they believe. This is what Allah has put in their hearts so far. And they have a right to it, and they cannot see differently. Then we need to leave them alone, as we would like to be left alone if someone tells us otherwise, right? So that's one thing. So let's see about when was the most recent time you felt sad this week? Did anything make you sad this week? There's something that made me sad. I received a text today of a sister that I've known for a while, that her mother passed away. So inshallah, Allah will, give her the best in the hereafter. But it did make me sad, because I spoke to her about 10 days ago, and she was telling me her mom was in the hospital, and she was really hopeful. And then it just, it's Allah's will. So that did make me sad, to be honest. And I kind of have it here. I feel like I want to cry, but I haven't gotten there yet. Like, I'm not sad enough in a way. Like, I haven't had the time to just sit down and kind of, empathize at that level yet. So, but inshallah, so alhamdulillah. I did send her and I spoke to her, but I just kind of, what I'm talking about? It's just there, but I haven't processed it entirely. So, and perhaps because I'm trying to block my own feelings. I have people dying in my family as well. So I know how it feels. And it's just like, I don't want to feel that, like I'm kind of telling myself, but I know I'm feeling it. So inshallah, Allah will make it easy for me and clear it up. So that's how I responded to it. Not fully, but I will. Anything that made you sad this week, even if it wasn't that dramatic, inshallah not.
May I participate?
Yes, of course.
Okay, I want to just answer on the brother that he was saying, like, what do we do with the family?
Empathizing, yes.
Empathizing and things like that. And your answer was excellent, Jazakallahu khairan. But also I want to remind us also in the Quran, where it says that if you have someone that is not a Muslim that comes to you, close to you, so what you need to do is be a good citizen, a good neighbor, be nice to them. Now, do we have to love them? No, we don't. Do we have to show but we don't, but what we have to do is we love that person for his humanity. But we hate, for example, his, let's say, belief system. For example, if they are polytheists or believing in other gods or something like that, right?
Of course.
And so we should show our good character as Muslims for them, and at the same time, like this is what the Quran says, that we should show our character, and that's actually by itself is a dawah. It's calling for Islam by showing them that we are good Muslims, because unfortunately in this world that Islam, Muslims are always labeled with different negative labels, but when we show them in reality that we are not as they think, they can't change their mind, and that's by itself is dawah. Jazakallah khair.
Thank you. Jazakallah khair to you, mashallah. And so I have a statement here that says, I was very sad lately, or I have been very sad lately. Now I am trying to find solutions and trying to heal. I think whoever wrote that needs to first identify what is making her feel sad. Maybe write it down and see what of those things are within her control to fix that. If there is something to do about some of those things. If it is something that is totally out, then you leave it to Allah or to professionals or to someone else that can have a hand on it. But at least we can work with something. SubhanAllah. And someone feels sad when their kids will respect them in front of people. It depends on the age of the kids and what seems to be disrespectful. I mean, they're little kids, they really don't mean it. Unless they're like teenagers and openly, and that's shame on them, really. Why should you feel bad about it? It's them, it's their behaviors. They're the one that are looking bad. It's not you. You've done your duty, and once they reach an age, they choose some behaviors and they choose to have a good reputation or not a good reputation. So don't feel that they're respecting you in that sense, inshallah. Okay, so the last one I have, mashallah, I'll share a moment I feel sad. Okay, someone wants to share a moment they feel sad. Oh, mashallah, she wrote it down about her kids. Okay, great. Let's move on then. We have time then, inshallah. Maybe you can send me a text or something. I need to move on to the other one, inshallah. Oh, there's number 2. What's hiding from us? Let's go for this one fast. So fear is basically the belief that something is dangerous or that is a threat to us. And that can be divided into fear of God versus fear of worldly things, so affairs, so such as like losing your job, not having enough of these. Usually has to do with finances or health, right? Oh, Bismillah. So the adhan is coming. I think I'll wait for like 1 minute till it's over. What time do we pray? 8:05? Oh, is it earlier? Because it was like 8:05 last week. Oh.
7:47 is when it's going to be called.
Oh, they comma? Okay, mashallah.
It's never the same time.
I know, and the same with mine. I just don't like to talk over the adhan, so sorry. Good. Okay, so I think we should go like in about 5 minutes, I think. So we'll just go over this really quick. So basically in that we'll have to separate the fear we have for God, which will be more like our taqwa. And it's really not a fear that we're afraid of Allah, but more like we are afraid to displease him, really. So I think we're going to have to go pray. Oh, they're making an announcement to wear their masks in here, so that's what they're saying. Okay. Okay, sorry about that. Inshallah. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Inshallah, I won't wear one right now. Yes. And I think we have like 1 more minute, inshallah, for the last one, which I really wanted to end in a happy note, literally speaking, number 4. So the last emotion that it's a possession of human being is happiness, which is a pleasant emotion. It causes you joy, contentment, and satisfaction. And it is something that when something makes us happy, it makes us want to do it again. Kind of like someone tells you, That's a really nice about you. It looks really nice on you. And then you wear it again because it makes you feel, you know, appreciated. It makes you feel good that someone gives you a compliment. So you repeat it. Same with happiness. I want you to think of 2 things that have made you happy this week. Think about 2 things. If not 2, at least 1. Think about 1 thing that has made you happy this week. Think, talk. Tell me, you gotta be thinking.
Oh, you want us to talk?
Yes, I want you to think and talk. Sorry, how did you express it? What made you happy?
My husband did work from home this week.
Awesome. So what about you?
And my kids every time I see them.
Oh, love it. Her kids every time. Awesome.
A coworker and I helped another coworker.
So helping someone at work. See how nice. And 2, what made you happy this week?
3 things, but,
Just
I had a
1.
really good, month of social work celebrated last month.
Oh, mashallah. Well, I have a student in the school that has autism. He is all over the place, but this week he was able to complete one of the activities. It took him the entire day, but he was finally able to complete 1 activity for the past 3 weeks. So it really filled my heart because I saw progress. So that made me really happy. Ati, what made you happy this week?
What made me happy this week?
Just 1 thing.
I mean, I don't want to lose the engine, but 2 days ago, I have a sister that became Muslim.
Yeah, mashallah. Yes, someone became Muslim under you. Anyone online that want to share? Anything that made him happy, made you guys happy?
Able to
Oh, I couldn't hear it all completely.
Oh, I was able to get gas in a hotel room for a family that moved to another.
Oh, mashallah, mashallah. See, good deeds makes us happy. So he was able to get some gas for a family in a hotel, I believe. Is that right?
Right?
Yes. And so a good deed, basically, so alhamdulillah. All right. So we'll finish now, I guess. We go for the prayer. I apologize, guys, online. Inshallah, next week I'll be more attentive of you, or next time. So I am sorry about all this technology. Please forgive me. Inshallah, we'll see you next time. Jazakallah khair. No, I guess we're finished.
If you have it set up and you can make someone else an admin and help you, like
No, I just need my computer. That's all.
Keep pushing the button for you.
I just need my computer. Yes. Yeah, you can end it. I just need